Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is BTR here to talk about the Terrence Crawford versus Hank Lundy fight this Saturday. You have undefeated Terrence Crawford versus uh, Hank Lundy, he's a solid opponent, solid, nothing more. And when you're watching this guy, Terrence Crawford, you got to be amazed, you got to be impressed with what you see. This is a guy that beat Yuriorkis Gamboa. He's been very dominant in his world title fights, and since his rise to prominence and since his rise to discovery, as far as casual fans are starting to pick up on him. He's going to fight Madison Square Garden, and he's starting to, hopefully gain more mass appeal. I think that's the reason why he didn't get the Pacquiao fight. He also was a dangerous opponent for Pacquiao because of his skill, because of his ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw at an instant, at a moment's notice, and his ability to make adjustments as the fight progresses throughout the duration of the fight. And I think he would have gave Pacquiao maybe even a more difficult fight than Timothy Bradley would have, considering that Pacquiao is the third time fighting. He's familiar with the style. Bradley's not he's not a hard-hitting opponent. He's a slick boxer. He's a hard-nosed guy. Puts his head into you. But I think Terrence Crawford has a little more skill, just my opinion. But the experience and the will of Bradley could be all the difference in the world. I think when you're talking about Terrence Crawford, you're talking about a guy that's making his way through the pound ranks. He's top 10 for sure in my book, and he's edging his way towards top 5. He has the skill. He has the ability to make people miss. At the same time, by keeping an entertaining fight for the fans, which is what the fans want to see. The fans want to see a man who's in there toe to toe, and the boxing purists want to see a man in there toe to toe, but also slipping, dodging, making all the right necessary steps as far as being detail oriented about his work as a great fighter. Terrence Crawford has the ability, in my opinion, to be the man at the welterweight division, and I think he'll move up. I could see in my opinion, he has the frame to be able to move up to about 154. I could see that fight. I could see him moving up and maybe posing some difficulties and some challenges for the junior middleweights out there. And I think this fight's going to show just how good he is, kind of, considering it's his opponent. So at this point, it's kind of like golf, right? You're playing against the field. You're going to win. More than likely, boxing's it's a difficult sport. It's a sport that you can get a man off the street and potentially beat the top guy, just because everybody has a puncher's chance. But if we're talking about skill is concerned, then this is going to be another easy victory for Terrence Crawford. And this is a fight. He's one of the most avoided fighters, in my opinion, of 2016, and heading in reverse in the past of 2015. And he's up there probably with Triple G as far as a very talented fighter that is not getting his just due, or is not getting his opportunity to truly prove that he is one of the best fighters. And what I mean by that is, and I used this analogy in my last video, sometimes marketability is not everything. Sometimes it's just about being the best. You have a guy like Tim Duncan, who is not the most marketable player in NBA. He's not the most exciting player in NBA. And throughout the years, there's been dudes who get commercial deals that Tim Duncan doesn't get, who gets publicity that Tim Duncan doesn't get. Could you imagine if Tim Duncan didn't have the opportunity to prove, and the San Antonio Spurs as a whole, as an organization, did not have the opportunity to prove that they could be world champion or NBA champions? That would be ludicrous. That would be terrible to say, well, okay, you're not as famous as LeBron James, or you don't sell as many shoes as LeBron James. Your TV ratings aren't as high as LeBron James, so you can't play him. You can't play Kobe. You can't play Kevin Durant. You can't play Steph Curry. And to many pundits, they'll say that Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. Well, he's not marketable though. So because he's not marketable in the sport of boxing, you put a guy who's like a Tim Duncan, who's great at what they do, who's winning championships, who has the ability to do everything. You don't give him an opportunity. And you keep him in the minor leagues, and you keep him in a position where he just continues to defend his mandatory belts, and he racks them up. Like, you have a dude like Triple G, who's getting closer to Bernard Hopkins' record of title defenses of 20, and it's not really going to make a difference. It's not going to mean nothing because he's not getting an opportunity to prove that he's the man. And I think he is Triple G. When we talk about Triple G, he is the man. When we talk about Terrence Crawford, he's the man. He has an opportunity to beat a lot of these top and more probably at this point in the game, more marketable stars. I would like to see him potentially face, even if Amir Khan loses or when he loses to Canelo. I think that'd be an interesting fight. I would like to see him against Danny Garcia. I would like to see him against Adrian Broner, and I think those are some fights that, and maybe even Tim Bradley. I think those would be some interesting fights that would make him, obviously would elevate his notoriety, but it would also legitimize him to an extent as a boxer, because you need opportunity, and it's only so much you can do with the playing against the field thing. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about. So watch the fight this Saturday. You have Hank Lundy versus Terrence Crawford. BTR, I'm out.